Welcome to the Fermented Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Anna, and on this channel, I'm sharing our journey of learning how to turn our home into a homestead. Yesterday, if you remember last night, we started our dough to make some, I think it's called a Bialy, sourdough Bialy, and that is not going great. So we're gonna make some, it's not rising. So I don't know if maybe my starter was not strong enough, or maybe I should have added more. I'm not sure, because every other recipe that I've come across said to add about a cup of the starter, and that was only a quarter of a cup. So I think that we might, I think we're gonna try a couple variations of the recipe from in here to see if we can kind of adjust it to something that is a bit of a weaker starter than most likely somebody who wrote a book on artisan sourdough might have a little bit of a stronger starter than we do. So we're gonna edit it, but at any rate, we need to refresh our starters because that's a life of a person who keeps a sourdough starter, or three. We have this one that is unnamed, that is instantly being converted over to an AP organic flour one. So unbleached AP organic flour. And it's going okay. You can see it rose a bit. And then we have Francine, of course, she's the one that we've been using for all these projects so far. She's doing great. And then we have Fred, who I'm trying to convert over half and half AP and rye, just to make it a little bit less of a rye flavor. So, because I want to be able to use it for like pancakes and things like that, and just not have it be quite so rye-ish. So, we're gonna go ahead and feed all these guys. I think I'm gonna do, not as much as I did yesterday. I think I did 300 grams. We're gonna drop it down to 200 grams. And then, because it's just too much. I don't need that much. Because I'm doing I just don't need that much. But then we're gonna make breakfast with some kind of a sourdough discard breakfast recipe. I'm thinking pancakes, we'll see. I'm currently watching the Fall into Sourdough video by Hidden Oaks Homestead. She's making some German pretzels. So we're gonna watch that while we're doing the starter here.
Because it's a science experiment, so you really don't want to use cup measures or teaspoons or tablespoons or anything like that. Baking is a little bit different than cooking. So
we got all of the starter turned over for the day, and now we're gonna go ahead and make our sourdough discard pancakes. I'm making this recipe from Butter for All. I'll try and remember to link this down below, but it looks like a pretty simple one. It's 500 grams of sourdough starter, 3 eggs, 40 grams of coconut sugar, 100 grams of milk, 6 grams of salt, and 113 grams of butter, or a half cup. We're gonna go ahead and get our half cup of butter melting, and then we're gonna mix all the ingredients together.
Hello friends, welcome back to Good Life Farm. I put some lining flowers on there and then took off.
All right, so we got our batter all ready. We let it rest for probably 20 minutes. It was more than 10 minutes. And now we have our pans all warmed up. I'm gonna start out with like a half a cup of batter in each one. We'll see how it goes. That's probably way too much. Maybe like a third of a cup would be better. Let's try a third of a cup. Heat it up to just a hair over warm, or a hair over medium. And we're just gonna let these guys cook until they start to bubble, then we'll flip them. They start to bubble and get a little drier.
we're excited for that one too. We'll be there, I think, Wednesday through Sunday or Wednesday through Saturday.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a try while I'm cooking, and I'm gonna cook off the rest of these. And I need to go and edit a video, so I figured I'd go ahead and eat these. They definitely look like they could be cooked longer. They look kind of raw. They have a good taste to them though. It tastes like rye. That's one of the reasons I want to switch my starter over to more of an AP flour kind of flavor, because I want it to not be like everything I cook tastes like rye. It's definitely good though. I'll see you guys back here later. I'm just gonna edit a video, and then I'll just bring you guys back for the next thing I'm doing. All right, so we have our dough here. I don't have a whole lot of hope for it. It didn't do much, but we're gonna go ahead and try to do something with it. Excuse the background noise, the dishwasher's running, and that's just life. So it really it didn't rise. it didn't do much. And I followed all the directions. I had it, room temperature. I did eventually this morning moved it on top of the dehydrator. It sucked. So we're gonna try we're gonna get this thing going, and then we're gonna mix up the dough the way I want to mix it up, not the way the directions said, the way that I want to do it. We're gonna try again for tomorrow, but we're not gonna give up. We might be able to get something out of this. Probably not, but I'm not gonna not try. First thing it says to do, we need a parchment line. We need to heavily flour a parchment lined baking sheet. It says to remove the dough onto a light. Let's switch places here. Get you a better view. It says to turn the dough out onto a lightly floured surface. Yeah, this ain't doing much. Oh well. Live and learn. I knew last night it wasn't gonna work, and I did not do anything about it. It's still stupid sticky. We should have done, we're gonna do the, what is it, the stretch and fold? Like this. For the next batch. This is just stupid. I feel dumb even continuing with this, but maybe there's something I'm not seeing here. But I'm not seeing it.
That's been one of my favorite decades so far. So I'm at 40 now. I'm excited to what's to come. And I am excited about this new chapter, my comeback tour.
I'm very frustrated by this. I followed the directions exactly as it said, and it is not. So hopefully it will at least taste good. And while this is proofing for another 1 to 1.5 hours, we're gonna get started on tomorrow's batch that I think I can fix it, and we're gonna find out. I should say I think I can I can do it better for next time. This is what it is. The recipe calls for 50 grams of starter. I don't think that's enough. I'm gonna actually quadruple it because most of the other recipes call for 200 grams of starter, which is basically 1 cup. So we're gonna do that. That's gonna be the first thing. And then it calls for 375 grams of cool water. I'm not gonna do cool water. I'm gonna do warm water. Not hot. By warm, I mean like between 80 and 100 degrees. And then 500 grams of flour. This bowl is just too heavy to weigh on my scale, so that's why I'm doing this weird back and forth. 9 grams of salt. So last time you will recall that I stopped using my Danish whisk and regretted it. So we're just gonna keep doing the Danish whisk until it's all incorporated. Just keep mixing this until I feel like it's good.
Some avocado oil on this pan, and I'm going to put these sweet potato croutons on that.
So now we're gonna just cover this with a damp cloth, and then I'll bring C back here in half an hour where we will do our very first stretch and fold. It's been a half an hour. So now we're gonna take our bench scraper and do a stretch and fold. Just gonna pull it, fold it, do it 1 time on each side. So you're gonna do it 4 times. 2, 3. Last one. There we go. Oh, I forgot. I should have been doing that at 15 minutes. Okay, so we're gonna do 15 minutes for the next one. So we'll just keep doing that until it gets to a decent texture. Is that the right word? While we're waiting, we're gonna go ahead and get the onion ready. We need to saute an onion.
Hearing people talk about shortages, knowing that you can have that unction.
So all we're gonna do with this is just saute the onions until they're kind of translucent. It says not to caramelize them. So that's really all we're gonna do. When we're done, add a little bit of salt and pepper, and then we're just gonna set it aside and wait for the proofing to finish. We got probably another half an hour on the proofing, I think.
To do what you need to do ahead of time and that you can hear it and follow it. Doesn't it make you feel brave? It makes me feel very brave and very hopeful. And the truth is that whenever I get afraid, and I do, it's
We're still gonna try.
It's like cookies almost.
Kinda. so we got the oven preheated to 450. And now we're just gonna make a well and hope for the best.
It's gonna be good.
Hopefully it'll at least be tasty, and then tomorrow will be better.
Yeah.
So brush the top with water. And we're gonna sprinkle it with everything but the bagel seasoning. And then for the topping. And it calls for goat cheese, but we don't have goat cheese, so it says you can use cream cheese. Either that or something else I saw said you can use cream cheese instead. So we'll just do a couple dabs. Okay, so it says to bake on the center rack for 10 to 12 minutes. And it's finally starting to really look like dough. We're getting close. Probably do a couple more before I go to bed. But it's looking way better than the one last night did, that's for darn sure. Okay. Maybe we need to let it cool for a couple minutes. I have no idea. But here we go.
All right, here it is. What's this called again?
Bialy?
Bialy.
Bialy.
All right. Mmm.
Oh jeez, that sucked.
You got something here.
So it's worth
It's a winner.
doing some
That's good.
troubleshooting. I like it. There's a good flavor. I can definitely see how with some nice fluffy bubbles in there, this would be delicious. So I hope you guys enjoyed experimenting with me today. And if you guys are new around here, we just moved to our 30-acre homestead in southern Missouri. And I'm bringing you along, sharing with you all the things that we're doing to turn our home into a homestead. Mostly revolving around things in the kitchen with food preservation, canning, freezing, dehydrating, and fermenting. As well as sharing with you ways that you can use those preserved foods in your everyday cooking. If that sounds awesome to you, click this button right here. This is what tells YouTube you want to come back here. Up here is a video that Mr. Google Pants thinks that you're going to enjoy. If you got FOMO and you want to know what we did yesterday, click this button right here. And then up here is our Sourdough for Normies playlist, where we're keeping track of all the things we're doing for the month of September. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.